Hey, here we go again. This is, I think, video 9, 8 or 9. Uh, Impressions on Spec Howard, Digital Media Arts, 815. That's my class number. Emery and Kelly are really good instructors. I respect them both, even though they both have their own, way of style of teaching. But it's very beneficial. I've said this before. When I first came uh, into Specs House, I was just like the typical individual. When it comes to watching movies or commercials, any type of media that you can visualize, I used to see the overall product and had some sort of clue, of dirty work with editing, what it takes to animate a certain sequence to the point whereas you could see a vision. Now, Emery and Kelly was right. I'm starting to talk more about the angles, about the lighting, about the techniques the camera is using now. People will look at the scene, let's just say it was a mystery and a soap opera. Let's just take that for an example. And let's just say the actor got slapped. The actual individual would say that's out cold, that's bold, or she deserved the slap. But I'm looking past the action. I'm looking at the colors that was used. I'm looking at the panning. I'm looking at the snap zoom that went into the slap, that sold the slap, that made it look dramatic. I'm looking at the composition of the shot that was taken. I'm looking at things like that. I'm looking at rack focus, how the hand was the highlight that the actual camera or the director or writer wanted you to see, as opposed to the background being faded out. So this takes premise of the whole scene and just visualize that slap. I'm looking at the technical side of it now. And I'm starting to appreciate it a lot more. I'm starting to look at cheesy movies, and those same angles and effects have still been used. Uh, how important lighting is. Uh, Lighting is like drawing in a way. You have to sketch. Have to think of something. You have to sketch before you start adding uh, further details. Like muscle mass. But think of it from that standpoint. If the lighting isn't right, there isn't. We're not even talking about using the camera yet. We're not going to even talk about the camera work, and we're not going to even talk about the audio work. It may take days and countless hours just to get the lighting right. And actors actually get paid just for that. See, we get taught in school when emotions can actually sell or is actually the highlight of the show. We were taught if we catch anybody crying on camera, we are to elaborate questions on someone crying on their emotions. The rest of the entire documentary, mini documentary, commercial, or whatever the case may be, interview, if somebody is crying, you will try to drag that whole scene out for crying because crying makes great television. Crying makes great ratings. And it's just a whole nother world you have to respect now. And this is just within the first card marking period. And what I've learned within the first 6 or 7 weeks in school, it's basically condensing what somebody may have learned 6 months or a year in school, in a college. Um, Whereas you have to do more paperwork and very short lab work. You know, you barely touch the lab work or may not touch none of the equipment at all. You may just look at it and you may be book smart about the situation. Which brings me to this point. We will be shooting very soon, real soon. I think we actually will be taking out the cameras probably next week, or if not next week, sometime the second week after this video. And I'm kind of nervous of actually taking the camera out and actually go out to a location and shoot. Our instructor, Emery Reeves, very well respected in the industry of shooting as a camera operator, editor. Uh, he's going to assign teams to us. And actually, in my class so far, a lot of them are not motivated. They just there. They go to sleep. You know, they're not part. You know, they're not involved with the instructor. The instructor wants you to ask questions. That's what they're there for. I refuse to leave that school not knowing anything. And for me to take a gamble to pay to go to school, I need to know everything it is to know, or at least muster as much information as I possibly can uh, out of the instructors and take their advice and utilize it. And that's what I intend to do. And I hope these videos that I'm making, these impression videos that I'm making, is inspiring the ones in my class and or in the future that wants to partake in the digital media arts program. Uh, Another wonderful thing is I destroyed the midterm. I got a 100%. You heard me. That's right. I got 100%. And I'm proud of that accomplishment. And and I give thanks to the instructors, the main two instructors, Kelly and Emery, how entertained they could take a class and don't have it so boring. Uh, but when we go out here and practice these shoots, I'm all about repetition. You know, uh, it's the Shaolin Temple, and he's going to want us to meet at a specific location. And this exercise that he wants us to do, I'm pretty sure he's going to give us some sort of layout sheet, and he's going to tell us if we need to do a wide shot, a close up, extreme close up, mid shot, uh, extreme wide shot, and do the six camera movements, the basic camera movements. He's probably going to want us to do some panning. He's probably going to want us to do some truck shots, dolly shots. He's going to want us to do some tilt shots. He's going to want us to do that and see what we've been learning with the online videos and watching movies, and even try to do an advanced shot, probably something like that. I'm looking forward to it. And this is actually my first time operating a real camera. I'm not talking about a computer camera you see here with lack of white balancing, and you see how the lighting is changing constant colors. So I know how important white balancing your scene is now. And it's great. I'm going to have to talk to Artonius, Devon, any of them guys that know anything about web design, because we have to take that further on along the road and learn how to build, a web page. Uh, so, and at the same time, I'm not waiting until the last period to start learning how to use After Effects. Thank you, Maxie the Man, for that. I'm going to be looking at tutorials and practicing, because it's essential today to learn After Effects and Photoshop. I didn't even look at all the programs we're going to end up using. I think we got Illustrator. It's all types of stuff in there. But I'm just going to take one day at a time, you know, uh, stay connected, build connections with people, uh, take advice from any and everybody up at that school, and try to apply it. And I'm just happy, to find something I like to do. But I plan on going to school at least 3 times. This is the first time going to school. The second time I want to go to school for is definitely graphic design. And the third time I definitely want to go into audio engineering. Those 3 things. Because the school I'm doing is for video production, film. I mean, yeah, they're going to touch on After Effects, but I really think they're not going to really touch really on it unless you're really into graphic design. And I'm gonna just try to learn as much as I can. I go, and thank you for the support for people who are liking my statuses and my well-being, and those that are in school that I know in the forums, posts. Even though I may not comment, I still do read them, and I do, stay current. And I wish you the best of your schooling. So continue going hard, continue doing whatever accomplishment that you guys are doing. Uh, Continue doing that. And with that being said, before I leave, I got to say some encouraging things. It may be harsh, but guys, women, in that classroom, my classroom that I'm talking about, we cannot be antisocial, especially when Emory assigns. I don't know who we're going to be assigned to, but once we are assigned, we have to talk. We have to communicate. Sorry about the phone ringing, but we have to communicate. Otherwise, projects will be sour. We need everybody's input. Nobody is better than anyone in that classroom. We all came in for a main reason. And mine is not to go back to the life I was doing, custodial work. I refuse to go back to that because that's not my passion. Uh, you know, Try to absorb the information that those instructors are giving you and take advantage of it. Please. Huh?